make my calories, I am just having my beautiful protein and caffeine shake for dinner. Mm. And I wanted to let you know that I was never happy with the explanation that I received for the first 20 years of my life, being don't do things because some particular magic being was watching you, so don't lie. And I thought, well, look, there is an interesting reason not to lie, and I think I have a better reason than just don't do it because someone's watching you. I would say that your future self is watching you. And what do I mean by that? I mean that when you consciously make a lie or decide not to tell the truth, which itself is a lie by omission, which I've learned the hard way, then it makes it easier for you to do it the next time. Why? Because the pathway, the neural pathway in the brain, I'm sure neuroscientists will know a bit more than me, a shitload more than me, will able to or be able to explain that repetitive behavior, if leading to a reward, can help form or cement a pathway in the brain that allows you to do it more easily next time. So what does that mean? It means if you lie and get used to lying, it becomes easier to lie, which means that it gets easier to make bigger and bigger lies, to the point where you lie so much that you end up destroying your life somehow or some way. Now, there are some ways to do that. One is, for example, if you decide to um, drive out of a car park without paying. So, someone else goes out, the door opens, and then you zoom out behind them. Now, you get nervous, you freak out, you think this, and then you end up doing it over and over again. You get used to doing this. Now, you might think, well, what's the problem in that? Well, the problem is that, of course, it might force you to do more and more things down the track. You end up getting you end up thinking it's okay, and you end up doing something which is not okay and changes you as a person. So your future self ends up being a different version of yourself than they would have been, had you decided not to take the easy route or to tell the truth, which of course is most likely the harder version. So you end up being a different version of yourself. So you create a different version of yourself, and that future version uh, is the consequence of the choices that you make. So you decide whether or not you want to be a better person or a worse person. Now, some people don't care, of course. And if you are unable to see the consequences of becoming a worse person, then of course you also won't care. So the question is, how do you see that? Well, you can watch movies or watch analyses of movies, such as movies that are fiction but tell a deeper truth, like The Godfather, and how Michael Corleone was initially a good person who made a series of choices that were justified but allowed him to make more and more dangerous choices, which resulted in him actually, by the end of it, becoming an evil person. And that is, I guess, even though it's a fiction, it tells the truth. And the truth is that the choices you make will turn you into a better or worse version of yourself. This then, if you become a worse version of yourself, automatically excludes you from the company of those who could make you better. And so it's a negative cycle that keeps perpetuating. That's a more complicated, but I think closer to the truth answer than some deity is watching you. And you might be happy with that explanation. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm not saying believe or not believe in those type of things. But this version, I think, is something that is more examinable, more measurable, and is something on which you can rely without having to rely on a specific deity that may or may not be to your liking. So that's in the end, that's the summary. The summary is, if you think you can take the easy way out by telling a lie, the shortcut is the longest distance between 2 points. It creates a future version of yourself that is a worse person, and you'll end up having a worse future. You'll see it all around you. You'll see your older sister, your younger brother, your cousin, someone who is a series of bad choices. Do you want to be that person, or do you want to be a better version of yourself? That's it. And that's a choice that you can make every day. And as always, it means that you take life one frickin' smack at a time.